Welcome to Financial Literacy Class 101. Today we are focusing on some demands that Gen Z have made to Zakayo. We have seen Zakayo has come in public and announced that he will not be signing the Finance Bill 2024. Then he has called for a dialogue and says that people need to sit down and strategize on how to manage funds in the country, on how to settle debt and others. So the Gen Z, if we are to go to this forum, these are some irreducible minimums that Gen Z has to settle on. They say first thing, Zakayo, obey all court orders. That is period. He needs to obey all the court orders so that at least he will be able to uphold the rule of law as enshrined in the Constitution 2010. So something else is defund the office of the First Lady, Second Lady, and the Prime Minister's Lady. So what do I mean? They need to defund. Already last year 1.3 billion had been used to fund the First Lady, Bibi Rigji na Prime Minister Lady. We need to defund them. Reason we are defunding is that Finance Bill 2024 was there to raise 346 billion, which is Finance Bill is a revenue generating income proposal to the government. Now that it is not there, does not mean the country is going to go on a standstill. We need to forego some of the interest so that we'll be able to manage and work within our means and work with what we have. So one thing, defund those offices. Remember, after the 3 years, you'll not have a second term Zakayo. So it's time you tell your wives and sons to go and start managing your resources. We hear that in Sugoi, you have a chicken farm. Send your wife to start operating your family business instead of bringing them to the public. Remember, at no one time were you campaigning with your wives. So there is no way you can now tell us now since they are the First Lady, will give them office. And another thing, there are some irreducible minimums that we cannot operate without. Let me name them. One thing is the funding of the primary school feeding program. That needs to be returned. Another thing that needs to be there is Jamii. Jamii, these were funds which were being given to wazee over 70 years and above. Another thing is coffee cherry fund. The funds that had been were to raise and had been budgeted to raise towards coffee, they need to be there. Then another thing is funds that had been structured to restock livestock. Remember, in Northeastern we've been having floods and so many livestock have died. Some died over drought, others died over flood. There were some funds that had been set to restock. Another thing that needs to be there is employment of the junior secondary school teacher. And another thing is to make them permanent and pensionable. The last thing is to employ the intern doctors. Those are things that have to be there. So for us to be able to operate, we really need two things to be shed off completely. You need to defund the First Ladies, Second Ladies and Prime Minister office. Defund them completely. Remove them. Then another thing, you need to scrap the CAS positions. CAS position, Cabinet Assistant Secretary, this was a political position that was kept so that Zakayo would handshake those people who assisted him in gaining the presidency. Those seats need to be scrapped off. You cannot be telling us that we are paying Cabinet Secretary, who is very ceremonial. Cabinet Secretary has his permanent secretary. They have a whole office that is operating. Then we have another office of Cabinet Assistant Secretary. These are necessary. You need to scrap them off and completely. So the other thing is also scrap of the housing levy. Housing levy, and it is illegal. So already the Finance Bill 2024 was saying that now there will be the funds that are from the house levy, they will be investing them in treasury bills. So treasury bills is a way, or treasury bill or treasury bond is a way the government is able to borrow money from the public, and maybe is able to balance money in the economy. Maybe sometimes in the economy we have a lot of money, so they give a good deal so that the government is able to regulate the value of the shilling. So now you tell me the government collects house levy, then once it collects the house levy, it borrows from itself and is supposed to return with an interest of 18% to itself. Surely that is not logical. Scrap of house levy. Once you scrap of house levy, return the money to the people, to the contributors. That is very important. Then again, we need you publish an audit of the last 1 year, how the funds have been used, so that we may know. The way we are seeing your close guys near you going in Harambe's contributing 20 million. You wearing a watch which is 55 million. We really need an accountability of the funds, government funds that they have been used for the last 1 year. So another thing is sack all the government officials with criminal records or any integrity issues. Remember, we have so many graduates who have graduated. They can occupy those positions legitimately. We do not want people. The government already brought a report knowing the number of officials that have fake degrees and college certificates. They need to get out. They need to get out. Another thing is constitute an IBC in the next 30 days so that we'll have power to recall, power to as enshrined in the Constitution, Article 28 and 29 of the Constitution. We need to have that power, sovereign power to the people, where they are able to hold leaders accountable and responsiveness of the elected official members. Another thing that is constitute the IBC, reduce the MPs allowance to be capped at 200 Kenya shillings. There is no way MPs can be earning more than doctors. Surely their interest and everything should be capped to 200,000 per month. All government officials have a duty to travel with government-owned vehicles, aeroplanes, trains or helicopters. There is no way you tell me I'm the public, I cannot have access the government helicopter because I'm not an elected official. Then the elected officials are going to hire with our taxpayers' money. They hire 200 million to go to the US US. Every government official, should they, unless if they have to hire something private, let it be personal business. But if it is something that is taxpayers' money, let them use the government vehicles, government helicopters, government aeroplanes. That is why you guys, once you misuse the funds, you bring compromised helicopters or very old helicopters, because you know in return when you are traveling you will hire other private jets. So that is something that Zakayo needs to know. Another thing, the irreducible minimums, we have said that restoring the children's feeding program, funds that were meant for the coffee cherry funds, restocking of the livestock, the sugar farmers needed some funds, then Linda Jamii for the old wazes, then employing of the junior secondary school teachers, then and making them permanent and pensionable, and then employing intern doctors. That is compulsory. So that is it. This is financial literacy class 101. We must talk things about that concern our country, where we are supposed to monitor our finances for us to be financially literate. If you find value in our content, ensure you leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content is loading. Thank you.